Well, look, there's a strong analogy between the populist uprising that's happening in the Netherlands with the Dutch farmers and the populist uprising that's happening in Sri Lanka. Basically, they're implementing the same policies. It's just that Sri Lanka is further down the road and it's a poorer country to begin with. So, like Chamath mentioned, in April of last year, the Sri Lankan government banned the importation of chemical fertilizers and pesticides used in farming. They again went with this idea they thought they could encourage organic farming. So the result of that was that overall production, agricultural production, fell by a third, and rice production fell by 43%. And rice is, the biggest staple in the country. So now you got people there starving or going hungry. You've got massive food insecurity, as well as the whole economy basically has been crippled. And the result of that is society has essentially collapsed. So, now the question is, why did the Sri Lankan government feel compelled to adopt these policies? A lot of it has to do with the fact they're getting these massive loans from the World Bank and the IMF, and the World Bank and so forth are imposing these ESG requirements. So Sri Lanka has something like a 98% ESG rating, even as their economy and society is collapsing. How is that possible? Well, they're doing a great job following the prescriptions of the global elites at Davos. I mean, this sort of global elite flies into Davos from Brussels and Washington on their private planes. They have panels on ESG, and then they prescribe these policies for countries like Sri Lanka. And this is the result. I mean, it's crazy. They've been telling us for years that somehow there's no trade-off between their environmentalist policies and creating a healthy, growing economy. And this is an example of that's not true. There are real trade-offs here. And the crazy thing is that the elites expect poor people in Sri Lanka to make up for their environmental emissions. And it's not really fair at all.